Welcome back to the final day of Pittsburgh Fashion Week 2020. I'm Gina Vensel from Easy Street Promotions, and I'm joined with John Valentine from the downtown CDC and the head of Pittsburgh Fashion Week. This has been an incredible week full of so many different performances. I can't even say which one is my favorite because there have been so many to choose. But on our final day, what can we look forward to?
Well, you know, we're going to highlight 4 of the events today. We have a few more, but we're going to highlight 4 of them. And but before I get into that, I just want to thank you. What an enjoyable time here with you. You're such a professional, and you make everything go so seamless.
I appreciate that, John. Thank you. It's been my pleasure to be a part of this. I mean, my events business was supposed to be packed this year with so many different Easy Street promotions. Yeah, it was supposed to be packed with all these different events, and then obviously with COVID flipping upside down, so many of them have just, you know, had to postpone altogether. But what I love about what Pittsburgh Fashion Week has done is that you immediately said, no, we're not going to give up on this year. We had amazing, you know, momentum growing from the years previous, and you said, no, let's find a way where we can still, you know, create this event, but actually impact even a larger audience, because I've noticed that this year, not only is it Pittsburgh, but you've worked with all these different cities from across the country. And so I'm just really excited to hear what we have in store for the final day.
That's great. Well, you know, an artist alley that you did with Ed Traversari.
Oh, I love that conversation. This will be a good one to close out the week.
For those that, maybe you could tell us what Ed's position is.
So Ed Traversari is a part of the Sports, Arts, and Entertainment Management program right here at Point Park University, and he also started the record label here, and so many of the artists have been a part of his record label as well.
Pioneer Records.
Pioneer Records, founded right here. Well, we're in the Center for Media of Innovation right now, but I believe it's one of these other buildings. But all of the students here have been a part of every aspect of this. I mean, not just, you know, being musicians and submitting artwork, but they've been behind the scenes in the production of all of this as well. So we really want to make sure that we take a moment to just thank Point Park for being such an amazing partner and allowing us to be here in the middle of downtown Pittsburgh, and getting to work with the students has been so fantastic. I know many of them are going to be leaving school, and this is their final semesters before they graduate. So it's just such a hard-working group of students, and just so many that have come to be a part of this event. So just want to make sure we take a moment to thank them and make sure that we give them more credit's due.
And we have a student that's singing on one of our videos tonight named Dejah Monea. Where do you hear her voice?
I can't wait.
Oh my God, one of the best voices you'll ever hear.
And so she's on Pioneer Records? She's a part of the
Pioneer
record?
Records.
Okay.
And you know, one of the programs that they have here is it's not voluntary, it's invite only. They create 1 video a year, a music video.
So cool.
And we've had 5 of them. This will be the 5th submittal for Fashion Week. It's so well done. It's so professional. And that was one of the things that struck me, and I even told Ed, I just couldn't believe the quality of the video. So where do you hear? She's great. Another panel discussions tonight, and this one is on race relations. And it's led by Nikki Brown, who owns Reserve Salon. And I have not heard that yet, but I'm going to watch it tonight. And I'm looking forward to that. And then, you know, with everything going on, and yes, Black Lives Matter. So I think it's an important discussion that we have to have, and I think it'll be interesting.
Well, I'm glad that you made it be a part of Pittsburgh Fashion Week. That was such an important facet to ensure that it's a part of everything. And as you can see, you know, John and I have been safely social distancing here at the Center for Media Innovation, because it is a part, we're still in this pandemic. Things are not all the way back to the way that we want them to be. But instead of missing out this year, this has been just such an incredible week.
And I also want to bring up, there's a tutorial tonight from a woman named Caitlin Bright. It kicks off the evening, and I gotta tell you, you know, I wish that she did it on men's clothes, because the way she put together women's clothing, I thought was fantastic, and she's a real pro. So you might want to kick off the evening by, and it's not even long, it's only about 4 minutes long. But boy, it's really impressive.
So here we are tonight, the finale of Pittsburgh Fashion Week. Be sure to tune in at PGHFW.com for all of the festivities happening for the finale for our 2020 event.
Hi, Pittsburgh Fashion Week. I'm Caitlin Bright, owner of Wallflower Vagabond Boutique in Dormont, and I'm here to chat about how to make your wardrobe more sustainable and versatile by getting more cost per wear out of your favorite items. So we're entering into the season of fall, which I feel like is most people's favorite fashion season. It's definitely mine. And that might make you want to put away all your summer clothes, revamp your whole wardrobe, and move right into more cozy items like sweaters and jackets. But while you're doing that, make sure you think about your favorites from summer and ways that you maybe could take them with you into fall. So right now I'm wearing our Hutton plaid jumpsuit. This is one of the items from our summer collection, and it is spaghetti strapped. So if you add something under it, I think you could definitely make this a fall look. Even with the plaid and the fall tones going on here, it's kind of like a cream and orangey color palette. So I think this is a great summer item that could go with us into fall by adding an extra layer underneath to something with spaghetti straps. Or I also later on would add a big oversized cardigan as the weather gets cooler. And that's another way to make this look more versatile, give it more longevity. And I think this is just an overall really cute fall look. Love the color palette. So this is look number one. I have two more looks to show you, and we're gonna go on a little sustainability and versatility journey here. So stay tuned. Okay, so with outfit number two, I am wearing shorts, and I think shorts are the number one item that goes straight to the back of the closet when fall rolls around. But there are some ways that you can hold on to your shorts a little bit longer with a few styling tricks that can take them into fall. So first of all, I think if you pair them with a long sleeve top, you can get a little extra wear out of them. I'm wearing them with a long sleeve wrap top, or if you choose a printed pair of shorts, you can pair them with like oversized chunky sweaters later on. They could definitely go with some plain black tights and some over-the-knee boots, or even something like these little combat boots I think would be a great choice. Or if you want to add an extra layer over all of this, we have this black denim jacket that I think pairs really well. So if you layer them properly, then you have a little extra warmth for when the weather cools down, and you have a really cute fall outfit in the process. So last but not least, I'm wearing this little sleeveless sweater dress, and I've added a layer over top. So when something is sleeveless, remember that you can add something underneath or wear something over top to give you some extra layers and take that item with you into fall. So I'm wearing this little oversized sweatshirt over top. This is actually a reversible item. Can you tell we love leopard print here? So one side is leopard and the other side is just a solid mocha color. So again, we have great fall tones going on here. I probably would again pair some little combat boots with this or some over-the-knee boots later on, and you have another great fall look. So the moral of the story here is to think about the items in your closet in a more open-minded way. Be creative with your favorite pieces, maybe even from different seasons. Mix and match things. Don't be afraid to play around. Fashion is fun, and you're on your way to a more sustainable and versatile wardrobe. Thanks for watching.
Hi guys, I'm Nikki Brown with Pittsburgh Fashion Week. Thanks for being here today. We have an awesome panel discussion for you. We are discussing race relations. We have some amazing panelists today. We have Susan Sue, who is an Asian American world-renowned costume designer. She has been recognized for her designs by Lincoln Center Library for exhibits on female costume designers. Her numerous awards include a Drama Desk Award and a Kennedy Center Medal of Achievement. She is currently a costume designer professional at Carnegie Mellon University. We also have Manny DiBianchi. He is a 24-year-old Black gay designer and a performing artist from Pittsburgh. While studying music production at Full Sail University, he started his accessory line, Dime Pieces by Manny DiBianchi, to help fund his education. He continues running his small business online today in addition to his music making. He considers himself an activist on issues within the Black and LGBT+ communities. And last but not least, we have Andrea Vasquez. She is a proud fourth-generation Mexican-Polish mix, a Pittsburgh native. Vasquez started her career in fashion right after she graduated from the University of Pennsylvania. She then spent 8 years in the world of corporate fashion with H&M, JCPenney's, and Macy's. After working her way up to the position of merchandise executive manager, where she oversaw store-wide operations, Vasquez shifted her career path into the world of finance. She is currently a group banking representative at Dollar Bank. All right, guys, I think we're going to jump right into this. I want to know, what effect do you think race has in the fashion industry?
The biggest effect race has on the industry may be the fact that a lot of things are inspired or maybe controversially taken from.
That's kind of been a starting place. It's kind of like, let's talk more about Blacks in tech. Let's talk more about why there aren't more, and this is kind of where, I'm on the board for the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. We open these conversations. It's not just, let's all classify, this is one race that happens to take over this industry. This is one race that happens to be here or there. How do we get that to be more diverse across the board? So, that's something, that's been my big passion, my passion for fashion, but also my passion for let's get all the different colors around it. Because that's what it is. That's what this all came from. That's why fashion became a thing in the first place. It was necessity out of why did, American Indians need to have certain type of clothing? It was based on weather. It was based on what their outside factors were, where they lived. So, those were some of my favorite classes back whenever I studied this, is why did it become something from the very beginning? And I think, as we all know, fashion repeats itself. That's probably going to be a great way for where a lot of these newer trends, and I don't want to steal some of the later questions, but that's where some of the newer trends will continue to come from.
So Manny and Andrea make really good points. I come from a theater background, and as a theater designer and teacher, I know that fashion is a big influence on many of my students, and there's so many great ideas in the world of fashion that inspire us. I think that one of the most important things, if I can just broaden the question of race out to culture, is that it's really important for us to understand and do our research, do our due diligence as we look to different cultures of the world and try to understand that there's a difference between being inspired by a culture and appropriating a culture. That's probably one of the most difficult questions to tease out as a designer, because there is so much that is beautiful out there. But we owe it to the various different races and cultures to understand where something began, where an idea came from, where the beautiful braids came from, and what they mean to the Black community, where a headdress, an Indian headdress, came from. And if it was, in fact, a spiritual item, we should not really put it on a fashion model or on a costume that would not be appropriate for that thing. So I do think that the question of appropriation and the question of really researching, not just by reading and seeing pictures, but by talking to people, really understanding the culture and the inception of an image.
What are some common misconceptions that you think people have regarding race in the fashion industry, and what can we do to combat those misconceptions? Andrea?
Sure. So when this first started coming up, and like I said, I'm studying diversity across the board, specifically in Pittsburgh. We compare ourselves to other cities of comparable sizes. I'm doing some volunteer work for the mayor's office, back to trying to get small businesses a little bit more, whether it's funding or grant opportunities, education, getting them certified. So in with that comes the assumption that, and I think Manny had touched on this briefly, that there are a lot more diverse, we'll say, musicians, or a lot of more diverse, any reason that someone maybe had become a celebrity, that they have fashion lines. And that's not really the case. So just because, someone of color has a perfume line, they're not necessarily involved in the fashion industry. So there's not too much creativity. I don't make perfume, so I don't mean to be discounting any kind of creativity in the actual composition of perfume, but if there's not a line to go with that, then we're kind of losing already what the entire overall picture of fashion might be. I did start reading a few articles about this topic, and there's apparently a Council of Fashion Designers of America. And I believe the article that I was reading was published last year. And out of 470 members of this nationwide council of people who are, we all know how great councils can be for sharing information. Of the 470, only 12 were African American, and I can imagine even less than that were of other diverse. It wasn't even mentioned, the other diverse possibilities of this. So that was kind of a very alarming number. If someone's already in this industry, then it should be a little bit more equal. Back to our first question: are there even to pull from? Are there people to pull from in these industries that we can kind of incorporate into the overall diverse collection of these kind of councils and organizations and people that are involved in the New York runway shows outside of internationally, like just what we have in our melting pot of America?
I think that people often will find something that they are intrigued by and maybe only approach it with the stereotypic tip of the iceberg knowledge that they might have of a race or a culture. And it always ends up being kind of empty, actually, and devoid of meaning. And, you can see plenty of times when designs have been taken, and in my view, not really very sensitively. So if anybody remembers Bo Derek in the movie 10, this is way back in the 1970s, late 1970s, where she wore cornrows. And, I just thought, okay, so what is this trying to say? Is this trying to say that a white woman with blonde hair is sexier because she has cornrows? Is it actually a compliment? Or is it insensitive kind of taking of an image that has come to be for Black Americans something quite different? And at the time, hardly anybody questioned it, and I thought it was like the wildest thing. And out of that came well, I'll give you one other example, and then I'll be quiet. The way back when Bob Mackie, whom I love and who did the most amazing designs for Cher, took off from the notion that she was part Cherokee, and he made a huge headdress, Native American headdress, for her that went from top to toe, and it was a kind of sensation at the time. Later on, Cher admitted that she wasn't part Cherokee. And this is after there was a Barbie doll made in her image, and we can't even get started about Barbie dolls and what color they are. But this sense that, well, isn't this cool? Isn't it sexy? Isn't it, the blend of it was a spiritual headdress. This is something that is sacred to Indigenous peoples. Put on a nearly nude woman, it just was, we weren't thinking, is what I'm trying to say. I think that there are plenty of times when something looks good to somebody, but it doesn't look good to the people that the object came from in the first place, and especially if it is something that is spiritual and full of meaning. Most things are full of meaning. The clothing derives for a reason, like Andrea was saying about, Native Indian dress being developed as part of the weather, and fringe taking the water away from the body and so on. There are deeper dives that people could make.
Okay, so to play off of that, how do you think one can inspire without appropriating a culture? How can one use something for inspiration?
I mean, don't most fashion shows have some sort of overall theme? So if they do, and if there's a write-up about why the designer did the piece, did the designer do their due diligence to figure out what was this overall theme? What is isn't fashion a message? Aside from what we put on every single day, what was the message that specific designer was trying to relate during that show or with that piece? So fitting into a theme might be a little bit easier. Actually, the last show I went to on behalf of the PDC a few years back was mostly about nature. And there were some really, really wonderful pieces that they had made. And then they had write-ups about it, not only talking about the textures or kind of the background of the designer, but giving the credit to the culture of where that may have come from, showing that they did do what was necessary to not offend anyone. And if anything, put it on a pedestal, give it the credit that's due.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. Doing what's necessary to not offend. That's a really great statement.
If I can just jump in for a second, I think that's a really great example. And there's one other thing too, which is to consider whether the inspiration, whether the idea has come from a culture which relies on that, let's say, pattern, because that's been something that's been appropriated quite a lot. If that pattern has been developed by a culture, and the culture is known for creating items in that pattern, and that is how they make their living, then I think we have to think twice about using it, no matter how much we love it.
Right, because my thing would be is, while I was saying it was hard to answer in the first place, is I get what Andrea was saying is like a theme, but could a culture be a theme? Like, could you say my theme is I was inspired by Black women, and so I wanted it to feel like it was around the way girl, or we've seen it done plenty of times where white women are big hoop earrings or things, and it's like, it's just a theme and we're inspired, and even the braids, but it creates some sort of outrage. So is it okay because other white peers look up to it and say, I'm inspired as well, but the Black people are offended? I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it could be a theme.
Speaking of what the industry is doing right or doing wrong, or what we could be doing, do you remember a specific experience or where you wish the fashion industry had done something differently regarding race? And if you were to do it over, what would you do differently?
Well, in a very specific notion, Michelle Obama wore a Black designer's outfit, I want to say 2012, and the internet exploded with how fashionable she was. She wore it to a convention, I think, on behalf of Barack. And just her doing that, and obviously she was ongoingly sophisticated looking, ongoingly classy, kind of put herself as a bit of a fashion icon, just simply by showing up in something that looked great on her. She always had, isn't the smile the start of a lot of these fashion pieces? But so she got all of this attention to this Black designer, and look how far that took. So, back to the first question, where there aren't that many minority designers out there, if we could tie in these high profile individuals with the smaller amount of diversity in the industry, wouldn't that just naturally be twofold? We would be getting more exposure for and I'm going to go ahead and assume that Michelle had done that on purpose, that if we had more than just her doing that, and if we had women of white color or men of white color that would, in addition, give attention to diverse designers, then aren't they immediately helping with something similar to the hashtag Black Lives Matter? So a lot of times they say, I don't know what to do. Well, you have so much fame and everything, that blacking out your Instagram versus giving attention to, if fashion is your industry, giving attention to other designers that might be of a diverse background. I think we can really kind of pat each other on the back a little bit more when it comes to that.
That's a great point, that our designers can look like our demographic, our people in America.
Thank you, Susan. Does anyone else have anything specific of the fashion industry doing something that they wish they could do differently?
Well, picking up from what I was talking about with patterns, I think that Nike has gone to some sources to pick up patterns that they want to put on the shoes, and I just wish that they had looked just a little more carefully at the patterns that they were taking from the communities that they did. There were some Samoan tattoos. This wasn't for shoes, but for leggings for women, but it was actually a ceremonial tribal tattoo for a man that was put on the shoes, and that kind of didn't ring very true. And there were some patterns from the Guna culture in Panama, which was what I was talking about before in terms of a group of people who had developed, indigenous people from Panama who had developed this pattern. So I think that it's possible to actually celebrate, if you can celebrate, and if there is some kind of joint thing that happens, that, in acknowledging where something was derived from, maybe some of the resources that they got could help, What
is the number one way we can make a substantial difference? I know that, Susan, you're talking about some ways that we can make difference in choosing the different patterns and being well aware of, who we're getting those inspirations from. What is the number one way we can make a substantial difference in race, in the race relations in the fashion industry?
Well, I think it goes right back to what Andrea was saying, just having diversity and people who are able to create those opportunities and put the representation in front of people to show them that there are different cultures, different religions, and it actually be authentic because it's coming from someone who's lived it and isn't just inspired.
What typically makes a substantial difference in most things that people choose to get passionate about might be the money behind it. And I hope that's not a negative white elephant, but the fashion industry has had a tendency to bring in so much money. So if we could find some topics that we're very passionate about, specific with diversity, and utilize some of the money from the New York fashion shows rather than making rich Italian designers richer, maybe keeping some more of that money within our own nation, and then to take that a step further, possibly putting it towards some initiatives that people have had that they're very passionate about to increase diversity, inclusion, equity. These are very, very key words across the board right now. And if we could attach something that's as fun and creative and kind of where everyone's welcome as fashion into the rest of these realms, I feel that, let's throw some money at it. What else can we make happen with these initiatives? To be most specific about what we can actually do substantially.
Wow. Those are some great ideas. Money is definitely something that I haven't thought of when it comes to what we can do differently. I'm thinking, we can talk about it. We can open the discussion up more. And that's not something tangible like money I never even thought about. So thank you for that.
I have an answer that's also about money, but it is about education and how much it costs. I do think that I think that we in education are not helping a situation forward because we are looked at as unreachable in terms of the tuition costs. And I think that there are, we got a small percentage of privileged people within our colleges who are able to study and pursue, their dreams on that level. And I don't know how to solve this because it's a very, very complicated issue. But I think that the scholarships that are available to train young people and the tuition rates that our colleges charge are making it difficult for young people to take the first step toward that dream.
That's very, 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 very true. As a 24-year-old Black man, I can say that it's the hardest thing to try to go after something in anything that has to do with art or media, fashion, music, because I'm trying in both. And in going to Full Sail University, I ran into the problem of having financial issues and not being able to pay for my apartment while going to school for 16 hours out of the day. So I had to end up moving back and continuing my education online, thankfully, even recognizing that that's a privilege. But the thing is that there's just not a lot of opportunity available for people of minority to even reach some of the first steps sometimes. And I've watched a lot of my peers have the same dreams and not be able to reach the same things, not be able to have the conversations with people like you who have do the things that we want to do. So, I mean, there is the biggest situation of, yes, we need to put Black people in those positions, but it's such a layered conversation when we talk about how we're even going to get there. We don't have the same, it's not the same fight. It's not the same race, like, of different minorities. It's definitely not the same thing. So, yes, very that.
Yeah, as far as education goes, as soon as the Art Institute left, we don't have so many schools that are specifically focused on some of these creative elements. Overall, we kind of started viewing ourselves as what we have our medicine and we have our tech and we have a lot of people coming here. We're trying to retain them more. Obviously, people will come here and kind of use us as a point of push off and then go to another place maybe that pays more or has something that they're more interested. I mean, I had to go and do the entire New York thing for my internship and live there and figure out what it was I wanted to do. There's not a huge plethora of jobs in that industry here. So again, why it is vastly important trying to find and keep all of these different types of industries here.
It's hard enough, right? A career in the arts, a career in fashion or in theater, is not a career that is one that most parents would encourage their children to pursue because you don't make a lot of money. You work really hard. People don't think you have to work hard. They think it's all talent, and that's people who haven't done it. So you work really, really hard, and you don't really make a whole lot of money, and that's also just a societal thing that is not easy to turn around. I've had so many passionate students, some of whom were afraid to tell their parents what they were really doing, because their parents would not have approved. So there's work to be done on that level. And there's a lot of work to be done where our tuition and scholarships are concerned. And encouragement. We have to encourage people that this is a good thing to pursue in their heart.
So keep encouraging people, put effort into the schools, and throw some money at the industry for the minority.
I'll solve all the problems.
I like those answers just as much as you guys. I have a question. What's the question you're most tired of hearing on the subject? And what would you like to say about this so that you never have to answer this again? So this is in regard to just race in general. When it comes to race in general in the fashion industry, what would you most like not hearing on the subject?
Why don't Black people do more for other Black people? Or minority groups as a whole? I think that it's, in my opinion, because specifically speaking, I don't know if you all remember, or there was this thing going around when the Off-White creative director, Virgil donated $50 to the Black Lives Matter movement. And it's created an entire explosion between, you know, an older generation of Black people and younger generation of Black people trying to discuss why he felt like that was enough. And I think it still goes back to what Andrea was saying of celebrities and things. I think giving a hand to Black people or showing them that this is what you should do. I think that Black people or minority people who are in positions of power aren't able to speak out or do things that they want to do for the minority, because in the grand scheme of things, it's not a popular vote. It's not a majority vote. So we don't see a lot of Black people who are out or in Black Lives Matter up until now of when it was trending. And I feel like even still now, I don't know why as a Black person, like I feel like I can't say certain things. There's certain things you just feel like you're not able to say or do because of whatever, because of offending or because of feeling like you are crying too much or things don't go your way. I mean, or in a way feel like they have to exalt it. And why is it that if Tyra Banks drops a swimsuit line and there's no Black models, it's a
problem.
Right. You know what I'm saying? I think that the bigger thing is that that we're all human beings. And I think that race is not even, it shouldn't be the topic, you know, it should be just a human experience, but I don't know, it's layered.
I was trying to think of how I would answer, and you just brought me to it, which is a question. This is a theater question, you know, of who has the right to tell a story, right? So a number of years ago, everybody in the theater industry was sort of discussing what August Wilson had said, that he felt that anybody who had not lived a Black life could not design, act, or direct one of his plays. And subsequently, he actually gave the blessing to a white female director to direct his plays in China. And you know, when I'm training designers, I hope that I am training sensitive human beings who have the capacity to be both courageous and have a level of hunger for knowledge and ability to try to put themselves in the shoes of other people. Because there's so many plays where we're about the human condition, and we cannot have personally experienced everything. I hope that we don't, you know, because we have plays about killers and we have plays about vicious, people and what they do against each other. But viciousness exists everywhere, right? Our country is in the kind of good angry place that it is because everybody has viewed the viciousness of what happened to George Floyd. So, but the thing is that when you're a storyteller, as a designer, you relate your own experience to what is in that story. And as designers, we must become always self-educating, always trying to understand and feel the humanity in what we're doing.
Andrea, did you have a question that you were most tired of hearing on the subject?
I would probably say I don't want to ask people what else we can talk about. You kind of hit on it briefly earlier, and again, not to pose any kind of negative outlook on it, but Pittsburgh might be a really good city to talk about a lot of things. And how do we put those things into action? So the various councils that I sit on, where I will put Pittsburgh on a pedestal for, is, like I mentioned, comparing ourselves to other cities of the same size, talking to them. What are you doing to try to eliminate XYZ or try to add to this situation in particular, and getting actual physical ideas, in which case maybe at that point in time, you do need to get some of the bigger hitters in Pittsburgh involved. Maybe it does come back to money. Maybe it does come to starting, but what I don't want to have happen is creating another group of talking about things that we could be doing versus let's get things into a bullet pointed, these are the feasible ideas. These are the things that we can absolutely make happen. This is how we can do it. This is a time frame. Very much just more specifics. I don't want to figure out more ways to talk. I want to figure out what we can do.
Yeah, that's always a good point to that's the hardest part, is now what? After we've talked about it, after we've sat down about it, we've discussed it, everyone understands, now what? So thank you guys for addressing that. What made you decide to tackle this subject?
I don't think there's a decision about it. We are who we are. We come from our heritage and our beliefs. And what other way is there to go forward? And you have all of us as people of color. There is no difference between us as people and us making the art or the design that we make, because we see it always through our eyes and our own experiences.
I would say that I find all of these topics very interesting, because as Pittsburgh does continue to grow as a city, and as we bring people from all over the world, quite honestly, definitely all over the country, people of various nationalities, as we continue to bring businesses here and increase both with our economy in general, as well as the types of businesses that we're bringing in, we are naturally going to see a lot of things that we're not so used to. We're not so blue collar as we were, back in the steel days. So when we're doing this, we're immediately bringing in a variety of fashion, of a variety of people, a variety of colors. It's not just everyone who looks exactly like us, which I couldn't be happier about. But I mean, that's kind of why I do find it important, sure, we can talk about it, but I'm definitely passionate about it, because, keeping all of these things at the forefront, like I mentioned earlier, it is going to come back down to small businesses being successful in the city. It's going to come down to business owners knowing that they can make it. It is going to be coming down, of course, outside of COVID. Now there's a lot more assistance that needs to be kind of sought out. But there's tons of money in Pittsburgh to be had to help assist people. There's different ways to help people figure out what those creative elements are. How many times we're hearing about businesses starting from the grassroots, and we're doing nothing but encouraging them. So I do find it very, very important across all the sectors that I'm involved in to continue to encourage each other to do what they find most interesting and most creative. And, these new ideas, some of them are really thriving. So I definitely think that's going to be how we continue to grow as a city.
Okay, I have one last question for us today. What are the most interesting trends for 2020?
Let's all say it on the count of 3. Face masks.
No, really, I asked the question because in other years, we look to fashion to see what the colors are, what the patterns are, what the prints are, what the silhouettes are. And this year, it seems to be a lot of athleisure. It seems to be a lot of face masks. So I was just wondering, as designers and all from different backgrounds, what do you guys think the trends are for 2020? Can we even say that there are trends for 2020?
I would say maybe thousands fashion. I see a lot in my age group, like thousands fashion all the way. Swim sweatsuits, 2-piece sets, like the athleisure look, the baby fat, Paris Hilton. That's very much the aesthetic coming back now.
Yeah, when I started to think about the answer to this question, I thought kind of similar to what you said in 2020, it's kind of like an anything goes, right? Because we don't even know where we're at. Half the year we're dealing with figuring out how to work from home and, looking good from the waist up when we're doing these virtual presentations. But similar to what you said, some of this fashionable loungewear, But in addition to that, some of this higher end, this yoga wear, how big yoga as a specific thing, having a healthier type of lifestyle. And so many celebrities specifically kind of jumped on their loungewear, but like a higher end loungewear, both for, let's lead this healthy lifestyle. Let's try to. And in addition to that comes this yoga line that I came out with. So those have definitely taken a larger rep. And then, so with that, anything goes, there aren't really fashion shows. So we're doing a lot of this virtual. So it's kind of just how we can reach each other with these virtuals, like who are we doing these presentations for? And then what does that look like? So what kind of statements are we trying to get out there? Which again comes back down to, we'll say, social media. Manny had mentioned earlier some of this Instagram, which I'll be perfectly honest has been some of the more recent places I've done some of my fashion shopping. And then these quick fashions, like he said, they're doing high production, assuming that logistically we can get it. And then, just a lot of these places just right to your doorstep, these Amazons, these Shein lines. I can't even think of Zappos, I think is one. Some of these lines where it's just very quick and it's just high production and getting it to someone's doorstep.
Well, when I saw this question of yours, I thought, I have no way of answering that because in theater, we just don't think that way. But you know what? If I were a fashion designer, I would create something that was really surprising on the bottom half of people. I would just bifurcate the body and do one thing going in one direction on the top and completely shocking on the bottom.
I think that's a great answer. I think that's a great perspective. And I thank you guys so much for being here with me today. I think that we've covered a lot of great things and got a lot of good perspectives from you guys. We talked about some important things today. I'm glad that we had the right people on the call today. And you guys were absolutely amazing. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Undulating back and forth, but it's too late. And there's no cure, no sedating all this pain we're generating. This prolonged, insane, grotesque thing that we wrongly have been naming love. Honey, this ain't love, no. Pretty soon I will be feeding on the taps, your little feet, and silver boots make when I flee in town. And I can't get around to being not surprised by memories speeding on the road on which we're bleeding low. Honey, this ain't love. I want you to hold me perpendicularly only. The sundown for the gods we were born to feel. I want you to hold me perpendicularly only. The sundown for the gods we were born to feel. It's raining cats and dogs and lightning strikes my heart and sheds some light on to the fact that ain't so frightening. How there hasn't been your pretty side in so much time. My teeth are whitening from the blood we shed while fighting love. Honey, this ain't love. I want you to hold me perpendicularly only. The sundown for the gods we were born to feel. I want you to hold me perpendicularly only. The sundown for the gods we were born to feel. I want you to hold me perpendicularly only. The sundown for the gods we were born to feel.
Hi, I'm Gina Vensel with Pittsburgh Fashion Week, and this is another episode of Artist Alley. Today, we have Ed Traversari from Point Park University. How are you doing, Ed?
Good. Hello, Gina.
Hello. It's really great to see you.
See you.
So we want to just dive right in and talk a little bit about your background. I know that you're in academia now, but it actually started in the music industry. So I'd love to hear a little bit about your background in the concert industry.
I started a long time ago. It was probably in the 70s. That's when I went to school. And, I basically was always a musician when I was in high school. And I thought about making it into a world of playing music when I graduated, but all the people that I played with went to different colleges. So I thought, well, maybe I should go to school. And when I went to school, I thought, I'll just enjoy music as a hobby the rest of my life, go to many concerts, which I was already doing and that type of thing. And I'll go in and get a major and I'll just, do something that, I might like to do, I might not like to do, I'm not sure. But I became what we called the student activities president, who basically was the one in charge. And I loved that idea because I didn't like any of the shows that the people were bringing in, I can tell you that. And so I had a budget and, I was able to call booking agents like William Morris and all these people. And I basically taught myself. When I graduated, the biggest promoters in Pittsburgh were two guys, Pat DeCesar and Rich Engler. And they had a company called DeCesar Engler Productions, which had been in business probably about 3 or 4 years prior to me joining. That's when they had joined a partnership. And I was very aware who they were, only because their name was on every ticket I ever had. And so I thought, wow, I could probably save a lot of money if I could work with these guys. That was 1975, and I stayed with them and the company until 2007. And it was really around 2008, I made the move just over to Point Park. So I was really lucky because the first class I taught was a class called Venues and Facility Management. And that is how to run a venue and all the people that go with it. And the guy that hired me said, don't you run a venue? And I go, yeah. He goes, well, you'd be perfect. And so I said, but I want to teach all entertainment classes. He goes, take it easy. You'll teach this class first, and then we'll see where it goes. Basically, that's how I joined Point Park in so many words.
That's so great. And just makes me curious how you feel about how the music scene in Pittsburgh has changed, over the years, like our local scene.
Yeah, I mean, I think the music scene over the years has always just been good in Pittsburgh. I think if you look at different time periods, when I first started, we were just coming off of stars in Pittsburgh that were like Donnie Iris, even Joe Grishecki getting started at the same time. I think the music scene in Pittsburgh, although it's like a lot of markets, has had its ups and downs. I think that people recognize Pittsburgh. And I do believe that when Wiz came out, and of course, Wiz has really just brought Pittsburgh's, name to the map. Mm-hmm. Mac Miller, same thing. And a number of other artists. Again, I don't like to get particular on them, but the Clarks and, now we have Common Heart and Rusted Root. So anyways, I think that helped us in general keep people in the United States realizing that there are good musicians there. And you're always waiting for that next band to make it, because when a band like Common Heart or somebody takes off, we all rally behind it because it's like, band's really cool. They came from Pittsburgh, So now, because of the way the business is, we have 4 or 5 major promoters in Pittsburgh. No, they're not as big as Live Nation or AEG, which are the 2 big ones, but they're very passionate about their music. And I'll tell you, when you're in music as a promoter, not only do you want to make money because that's what you do, and it's not always that easy, but you have a desire to make sure that no band doesn't get played in Pittsburgh if you can help it, if you think it makes sense financially. So these people, I can name names, but they've all worked hard, from the guys at Stage AE to Roxy to Drusky. They work so hard, and so they've done a good job. And I couldn't be more happy, because I think the situation we're going in right now, of course, everybody's down because
that's right. That's
a sad state of affairs.
It really is.
Yeah, if we just push that aside for a second, when we get back, I mean, with our big amphitheater, we have now We have back a Live Nation Pittsburgh office again, which we lost for a while. So there's the desire to draw very heavily there. AEG is prominent in the market because they own Stage AE, and then all the independents that I mentioned. And so I think we're going to be okay, in a good place for a little more while to go, as long as these bands keep writing some music and they get lucky enough to get some airplay, and then it puts you on the map nationally.
Yeah, let's hope that during this time of the pandemic that the creative juices are flowing with a lot of these
writing some good songs at home.
Right, some really good songs. Some of them can be a little sad, maybe. I don't know. It's been a struggling time for many of us, during this pandemic, and my heart really goes to the independent music venues and the struggles that they're having right now, not being able to be open during the pandemic. And I've always been in love with our local scene and love seeing different bands grow and DJs and just the amazing talent that we have here in Pittsburgh. And you mentioned how this was kind of led into academia, that you saw that Point Park's arts entertainment management program was so special. It was so different from what else you've done. And one of the things that just really was awesome that I knew that has happened there is the development of Pioneer Records. And I wanted to know if you could just take a couple minutes to talk to us about that and how it got started and what it is.
The reason why I even got into running this program was because I looked back at myself, just like you and I are talking about. And I thought, wow, so many kids are passionate about music, but they don't know what to do with it. So I like the fact that we are a completely business program. So the guys that started, we're not going to teach you how to play drums. So when I have the kids come in the first day, I say, look, who plays an instrument here? And they put their hands up and I go, good, keep practicing. I'm not going to show you anything there. I tell them, but I'm going to teach you about financial structures and, how do you select this and how does the record labels work? And I think that's what the kids like. So again, we do that in all facets of sports, arts, and entertainment. I just happen to run that part. But it was through that we actually were doing classes over at Stage AE. And that was another program where I said to my department chair, I think we should have a classroom at Stage AE, which is a very, very big concert venue in our market. And he said, sure, what's that mean? I said, well, I don't know what it means. I just mean that we should be there. So I went and structured a deal so that the students would have a time to come in there 2 days a week, sit in a classroom and look around when they're walking in, seeing a band setting up. And that's not something that I never had a chance to do until I started working for the Caesar Angler. But I did have several students in my classes that said, I really want to know more about the record industry. And I said, well, it is a piece of the pie. So I went to my department chair again and I said, I want to start a record company. He goes, how do we do that? I go, I'll take care of it. I just need a little bit of money from you. That's all. So we basically formed Pioneer Records because Pioneer is what the students are at the University of Point Park. So we now have had 8 artists. And what we basically do is we'll get maybe about 30 different submissions. And what'll happen is once we get that, we have a panel of judges. And the winner then gets to record a 3-song EP. They get a CD release party at Stage AE when Stage AE is up and running. They get a music video because I put together a deal with our cinema department where we could collaborate on a music video. So we now have, for the last 3 years, we have a music video class where the students actually can sign up for the class. And we take half cinema kids who really know how to create the video and half sports, arts, and entertainment who really know the marketing and the budgets, et cetera. And they'll take the artist, pick the song that they decide should be the song, and then they basically get to go in and determine the music video, and they kind of vote on it. And then once the group votes on the right concept, the artist gets into it, and then the whole semester takes off on a music video class, and then it'll climax in around mid-March, early April before they graduate, and we'll have a music video, which the artist will own forever, as well as
cool.
Yeah, and in addition to the kids that actually get to help make it. So, it doesn't always have to be just the artist, there's the people behind, like we're teaching.
Right. And so how could others either get involved if they're interested in Pioneer Records, or if they're interested in maybe even becoming a part of the class? Where could they go?
Yeah, I think the best thing is just to go to the Point Park University website, which is site, and in there, if you want to get more specific, there's a search engine. Just type in sports, arts, and entertainment management, and it'll take you right to our department. It takes you to the department chair. It takes you to the faculty and tells you who we have. And what's nice about our faculty, and again, not unlike a lot of schools maybe, but most of our faculty, at least in our department, have all come from the business world. And we all did it, maybe some not as long as I did, maybe. I'm kind of a latecomer. I came to academia 12 years ago, but, some come earlier. But the point being is we've all had some business sense, whether it be in the marketing world or the sports world or, theater or entertainment. So it's been really good because I believe, at least in our business, we need to have that background because, we're not always in a book. In fact, I don't even use a book very much. I just create my own PowerPoints and thing, and I tell them, you better take good notes because you're not going to get this anywhere else.
That's right. Well, we really appreciate our conversation today and appreciate your time so much. And I want to thank each of you that are listening today. We have Ed Traversari from Point Park University as a part of our Artist Alley. And to follow everything that we're doing at Pittsburgh Fashion Week, you can learn more at PGHFW.com.
Peace, everybody. Peace, everybody. My name is J.M. the Poet, and this is Dejah Vu. Wake up, young king. The world is calling and you got work to do. Time is passing you by and you'll never be able to get it back. So why you wasting it with your eyes closed? I mean, dreams are great, but that REM is something that you barely remember. So why not remove it from your mind and remake it into reality? While you have the chance, while you have the power, that is. Turn these dreams into deja vu, young king. Yeah. Check me out, it's Jam the Poet. Like I said, this is Dejah Vu. Hey, look, I get up and get right. I get up and get right. I get up and look, I get up and get right. I get up and get right. I get up and I get up and get right. I get up and get right. I get up and look, I get up and get right. I get up and get right. I get up and look, I get on a mission. Me, myself, and I got no need for the competition. Yeah, I feel the division. A splitting in my mind, I need to make a decision. Yeah, I lately been wishing for God to ease my mind, give me something I feel like winning. Yeah, I'm doubting my vision. Go for that promotion, your family needs your attention. Wait, I'm feeling like a villain, like I'm willing to be distant, feel more guilty when I'm chilling. I'm healing, but not really. I'm in a different city, feeling chilly while my family cry. Look, I miss the freeze. Keep my heart colder, it's putting my mind at ease. Emotions are a boulder, I'm bolder without them, please. I need to get myself on a level where I can breathe. Hey, I get up and get right. I get up and get right. I get up and look. Hey, I get up and get right. I get up and get right. I get up and hey, I get up and get right. I get up and get right. I get up and I get up and get right. I get up and get right. I get up and I face against myself with thoughts adjacent to my health. Like, am I scared to go to hell? And would that stop me from prevailing? Am I failing if I stay at home and take care of my family? So young, I got these dreams I want to get to. God will hear me, or is he saying stop? I wonder if these hard times will get me to the top, or will it be my downfall, a hard sign to not continue on this path? Boy, you not about to pop. Damn, my mind and me be going back and forth like Martin Pam. I'm trying to see if life can be afforded wanted off these jams. And life trying to see if I want it off the hands. But this whole time, I just want it for the fam. I tried the military, wasn't worth it for the ends. I got me a career, but I ain't happy like I planned. Now should I waste this year working for another man? Or try to start my own? God, is it in my plan? Tell me, is it in my plan? Hey, I get up and get right. I get up and get right. I get up and I get up and get right. I get up and get right. I get up and I get up and get right. I get up and get right. I get up and I look, hey, get up and get right. I get up and get right. I get up and I. And that's all I know, you feel me? Let's get into the next one. Yeah. JM. Look. Messing with a young hitter that been trying to get it ain't the right choice to make. I might die behind mine, cause it ain't just me, I'm trying to get the boy straight. Struggling to get my mind right, got a bitter taste from the limelight. What I do for cream, no Klondike, me by any means, I'm a limelight. If you try to mess with mine, know that you'll pay dearly. People still trying to grind for what I make yearly. I'm still up here making moves and I know you hear me. You can't see me when I spit like your name Fury. Look, I'm a young, never hold my tongue. If you want it, you can come and get you some, man. V5 fum, I'm a giant to these motherfucking bums. Ayy, ain't a stranger to the slums. I just had to make a choice. Kept God in my life, he amplified a younger voice. Royalty in my loins. Shorty wanna birth a prince now. Shorty see I got coins. Why she staring at my print now? You don't know what I'm doing. Finding ways to get the youth out. 803 and y'all know it. JM got the juice now. Hey.
All I know, I gotta get to the all I know. I gotta get mine. All I know, I gotta make moves. All I know, I gotta get right. I wake up, got my mind on that paper. Gotta make the world pay up. I need it now more than later. I need it like I need peace. So I pray to God for the energy. I ain't in a club like 03, cause I'm out here trying to get a piece. Yeah.
Break up the bread, bring it back to the Ville. That's the label, the brand we enforcing our will. It's important. You know how to open your mind when it's blue. Out here stealing these roses from light, taking life. Be the chill, homie, roll up and light it. Don't be healed, cause I got that anxiety. Never feel right when I'm in sobriety. Wildin' out when I'm out in society. Middle finger to the cops, they on me. Try me, I'ma go super saiyan. Might put a young on Vicodin. They don't want smoke, they on niacin. Hey, why they always trying to talk with no bite? Hey, always talking real big with no right. Hey, talking street with your credit on why. Trying to be about it, boy, but you lying. Come to terms with your place in society. I ain't a killer, but don't push. Revenge is like the sweetest joy. Right next to getting booked. They cut the check and I cash it. Then I cut the check for the fam. Had to put my words into action. Young hitter that been trying to get it ain't the right choice to make. I might die behind mine, cause it ain't just me, I'm trying to get the boys straight. Struggling to get my mind right, got a bitter taste from the limelight. What I do for cream, no Klondike, me by any means, I'm a limelight.
All I know, I gotta get to the all I know. I gotta get mine. All I know, I gotta make moves. All I know, I gotta get right. I wake up, got my mind on that paper. Gotta make the world pay up. I need it now more than later. I need it like I need peace. So I pray to God for the energy. I ain't in a club like 03, cause I'm out here trying to get a piece. Yeah. All I know. All I know. All I know. All I know. Yeah.
Oh, snap. My boy J Mont done came on the stage. What's good with it, man? What's good with it, man?
That's it, man.
Look, man, hey, we about to function. Hold
About
up,
to
let me tell
function?
you how we do it real quick.
About to function. Gotta get comfortable. You know what I'm saying? We try to have a good time. You know what I'm saying? I feel that. Hey. Feeling good. Looking good. DJ Aesthetics on the ones and twos. Live from the city.
This is joint we did a little minute back.
This is Driving Wild Black Records.
This is
ladies and
Driving Wild
gentlemen.
Black Records.
And we just trying to function.
You feel me? Tell
If
them
you
how
having a
do it,
good
bro.
time, you can function with us too. 5-foot stunner, doing big numbers. Homie got burnt, that's a hot girl summer. Yeah, I count rubber bands thumbing through my hands. Watch me do my dance. Driving wild black, that's the logo and the brand. Support black business, so I give it to my mans. Y'all don't understand. Do it for the fam. When we at the show, they be filming like it's cans. Remember we used to eat the vegetables out the can. Mama working late, leftovers again. Doing hood things with all of my friends. Just because we skin folk doesn't mean we can't folk. For the notes app, we use pad and a pencil. Take you to the complex, we gon' keep it simple. Rolling down the windows, tell me what your info. Driving wild black, we go higher than crescendo.
Shorty, tell me what you wanna do.
Tell me where you wanna go.
Let me know if you're down the road. I'm trying to make a money move.
I need it if you're talking dough. I'm about that business in a bankroll. I'm just trying to function. I'm just trying to function. Yeah, yeah. Hey, I'm just trying to function. Hey, I'm just trying to function. Yo, I'm just trying to JM. I'm just talking to him.
Wait, how far can he take it? Boy, I got them numbers and they stacking like the Matrix. They never believed that Adonis be the greatest. I'm making my own while they trying to find a case.
What else?
Trying to find a patient.
What else?
Cause I've been since the cradle. Crazy how my wave got me stable. Village be the label.
Hey.
And I be having Village on my label.
Okay.
Village bringing vittles to the table. I'm about that cream, no
Celtics.
I'm about my bucks. Give her how you felt,
man?
I'm Kobe in the clutch. OD to the bell hit. Midas with a touch, lemonade on myself.
Okay.
Man, I thought he wanna touch. Wait, I wanna feed the block.
How long?
I wanna eat from 12 to 12 o'clock. Man, nigga, if the ops.
We never run into the cops, no.
We about to shake the world till it pop. Being broke is not an option. Why they steady checking if you stalling? With no hesitation, they might put you in the coffin. Oh man, these niggas tripping. I be steady working 3 to 3, no Scottie Pippen. Foul man flopping. Need to sip your tea and keep it lifting. Ain't no need to be up in my business. Your energy ain't to me, you just a witness.
Whoa, you just flexing for your fitness.
Shut up and watch the
Tell me what you wanna do.
Yeah, tell me where you wanna go. Let me know if you down the road. I'm trying to make a money move. I need it if we talking dough. I'm about that business in a bankroll. I'm just trying to function.
Hey, I'm just trying to function. What we doing, JM? Hey, I'm just trying to function. I'm just trying to function. Hey, I'm just trying to function. I'm just trying to function. Hey, we just trying to function.
What we got next? What we got next,
doing the
DJ?
thing, man.
What we got next, Tress? Hands out. Let me put this back. Let's go. Hey, y'all ever had them people in your lives that you feel like only mess with you when they feel like you got hands out? You know what I'm saying? They always coming around with their hands out. Ain't never fun like that. This is a song about them though. Look.
I'ma hit that blunt till I pass out. My folks think I'm the man now. Don't think they understand now.
Hey.
And I'ma hit that till I pass out. My girl think I'm the man now. Don't think she understand now.
Hey, how do I know? Who do I be? What about needs? What about lust? What about me? What about trust? What about we? How do I know? Who do I be? What if I'm lonely? What if I'm weak? What if I'm gone? What if I'm me? What about? Hey, they think I got the plan. They say I got a chance. I see they got their hands out. Oh. Hey, they ain't think I was a man. They ain't think I had plans. Till they thought I had handouts. They perspective got them reflecting, got them regretting now. Look, them done slept in like them got sedatives in they system now. Look, interesting how they get interested now. But I got intellect, if you ain't been corrected, you could get corrected now. Look, whoa, I done had bands in a mattress. I done made 100 do a backflip. If I spend it, I'ma make it back quick. I may have money to a habit, but none of that cash ever hash. You do what I like to for granted. I can spend mine cause of damage, or try to bring it home for the family. But I'ma hit that blunt till I pass out. My folks think I'm the man now. Don't think they understand now. Hey, I'ma hit that till I pass out. My girl think I'm the man now. Don't think she understands. Hey, look, how do I know? Who do I be? What about soul? What about needs? What about lust? What about me? What about trust? What about we? How do I know? Who do I be? What if I'm lonely? What if I'm weak? What if I'm gone? What if I'm me? What about? Hey, they think I got a plan. They say I got a chance. I see they got their hands out. Oh, hey, they ain't think I was a man. They ain't think I had plans. till they thought I had. Look, see my grandma having nightly convos with Dionysus. And now the world is trying to kill itself, trying to fight a virus. We in dire crisis, but I ain't gonna cry about it. Check, my girl done told me we gon' be each other fire when the night here. Look, ayy, I done had O's in a mattress. I can make the do a backflip. I can smoke it up like a savage. I be getting money with this rap None of that flash of a hash. You do with the lights for granted. I can spend mine cause of damage, or try to bring it home for the family. But I'ma hit that blunt till I pass. Yeah, my folks think I'm the ayy, don't think they understand. Ayy, and I'ma hit that till I pass. Ayy, my girl think I'm the man. Ayy, don't think she understands. Ayy, how do I know who I be? What about soul? What about me? What about lust? What about me? What about trust? What about we? How do I know who do I be? What if I'm lonely? What if I'm weak? What if I'm gone? What if I'm me? What about? Hey, they think I got the plan. They say I got a chance. I see they got their hands out. Hey, they ain't think I was a man. They ain't think I had plans. Till they thought I had handouts. Yeah. And man, it ain't never a good feeling to have people around like that. What we gonna do? We gonna switch the vibe up real quick. We gonna get back into it with the poetry, cause I am JM the poet, you feel me? All right, let's go. I hate you. I feel as the Aztecs felt against the Spanish conquistadors, you came into my temple with a peaceful front and squandered any hope of your kind being trusted around here. I hate you. You go knocking on fortress walls with that Trojan horse, and they foolishly opened up and let you in, thinking that things may be different this time. I hate you. See, this isn't a war story, but if Venus is the goddess of love and passion, and Mars is the god of war, then I see why they pitted them against each other. And yet, they're meant for each other. I hate you. Venus, you forever open the door to Mars, and your love games leave lives in shambles and lined with hate, and you never stop. I loathe you, love, because you breed nothing but hate. I hate you. Yeah. See, we all go through those trials and tribulations between love and hate. And sometimes you just can't ever control the outcome, you feel me? Sometimes it's just not meant to be, no matter what your intentions are. Yeah. Check.
She say she a blessing, I say that I'm stressing. I think that I'm blessing her with shit she ain't impressed with. She feel like we heaven, I think we 9/11. Now we falling down till there's nothing left with us, and we ain't present, but I still need your presence. Want to unwrap you, hold you tight, but God gave me a lesson. You either fight like tension or give in to the tension. Sometimes it's just not meant to be, no matter your intention. No matter your intention.
And dang, this hurt. I feel like Debo on a Saturday. Saturn your ring finger and it doesn't even matter. We still couldn't make it to a lifetime after we still floating apart. Feel like the universe is after me. Still f***ed up my heart. It went to war, came back in tatters. She left me bruised and battered. I feel like I see a pattern. Venus, Mars, that's love and hate. Are in love and the hate is after love. It's after trust. It's after us. It's after we. It's after what just couldn't be. No, I don't have to mention all that we done been through. My mental ain't sentimental no more. These thoughts of you have been robbing me of my sanity. Dang, I wanted family, but I cannot see that with you. But I did see that with you, but we could not see it through. My present tense got me envious of my past. I'm thinking like, should I blast myself? I'm so alone in these conversations through phone ain't the same. It got me racking my brain. I'm trying to feel through the pain, but end up numbing myself. No Novocaine and this side piece is on the way. But shawty, I just can't stop thinking of you. What do I do when I love you but have to push you away? What do I do when my soul is telling my heart it should break? What do I do when I see other people take you on dates? Like, should I kill them or really should I just let you be great? I do not know. But just pick up the phone, cause I'm alone. And look, she say she a blessing. I say that I'm stressing. I think that I'm blessing her with shit she ain't impressed with. She feel like we heaven. I think we 9/11. Now we falling down till there's nothing left with us and we ain't present. But I still need your presence. Want to unwrap you, hold you tight, but God gave me a lesson. You either fight like tension or give in to the tension. Sometimes it's just not meant to be, no matter your intention. No matter your intention. And you feel me? Sometimes it's just, you know what I mean? Not meant to be. But one thing you can have though, is self-love, you feel me? That's the one most important thing you can have. Because even when you do go through things and it's not meant to be, not just with love, but shoot, with life. As long as you love yourself, well, nothing else matter. So I say no matter what they say, just believe in yourself. Know you're beautiful. Let's get to it. Yeah. This will be the last one. Y'all can find me at JM_the_poet. Yeah. Look, don't listen to the things they say unless they calling you beautiful. Only fall to your knees to pray and never beg for something you can do. And if you think that it's meant to be, fight for it, see what the future do. And never let them touch your pride. Always remember you're beautiful. You're beautiful. Your melanin is beautiful. You're beautiful. Your every thought is beautiful. You're beautiful. So spread your wings, they're beautiful. You're beautiful. You're a young black queen and you're... Dry your eyes. Don't let the hate come and take your pride. Please celebrate what you got inside, and the blood in your veins royalty resides. And please don't deny. I know that the thought might bring surprise, but the HATE in their eyes, that's jealousy. They demise. They surprised to see you to the fullest extent of what you could do. And I promise that if you choose to stay true to yourself, then your destiny will come through. Look, best believe you make do with the blessings that God has handed to you. Then the stress and oppression weighing on you will regress. The pressure fades away too. Look, love yourself. You're beautiful like no one else. And no one else can love you like you can love yourself. Love yourself. You're beautiful like no one else. And no one else can love you like you can love yourself. So don't listen to the things they say unless they calling you beautiful. Only fall to your knees to pray and never beg for something you can do. And if you think that it's meant to be, fight for it, see what the future do. And never let them touch your pride. Always remember you're beautiful. You're beautiful. Your melanin is beautiful. You're beautiful. Your every thought is beautiful. You're beautiful. So spread your wings, they're beautiful. You're beautiful. You're a young black queen and you're beautiful. So I got one more piece for y'all. We're gonna let my boy Jamal St. Clair take us out on this one real quick though. I want everybody to close their eyes for me for this last one. There's been too much going on and this just needs to be said. Let me paint a picture. We'll start with black. Black. A black man born on this earth just as human as the rest, yet detested from his first breath till his first step, till his first check, till he learns death seems to be the only escape from this place that we call hell on earth. Or to us, just hell. Next, we add a little white. White. A white man. Born with the curse of privilege. Blessed with the bliss of ignorance, the gift of living in a nation of immigrants that don't realize they're immigrants yet stay discriminate to guess who? Immigrants. And now we'll add a little blue. This is where it gets tricky. Trippy, really. Blue. A man reborn into blue. Brainwashed into believing that the hue of your skin is proof of your guilt. So now they're boots to your neck and baton to your tooth, and if you run fast enough, well, they shoot. We all been on this was in their roots, so. Lastly, we'll add a little red. Red. From the stripes on our backs to the stripes in the flag, to the puddles we lie in before the toe tags and the bags for our bodies lying in stacks. See, this is the color that'll set it all off with one single pop. So tell me, why do I feel a surge of fear when those who should be protecting us come near? Why do I feel disgust when I see a badge that should represent trust? Why do I feel hate, fear, betrayal, and bloodlust from someone who is as similar to me as the keys on a piano? We are not in tune. As different as ebony and ivory, yet the tune could be so beautiful if our frequencies just align. There is no excuse. There is no true reason that you hate me. And I see no need for forgiveness. I see myself slowly turning from king to ex, vexing my very soul on what I should do next. Fight, run, lead, follow, comply, yield. What do I do? The thing is, when I see a badge, I just don't know what to do. Tell me, who polices the police? Who can execute the executive branch? I kind of mean. Will it rain on my window pane? Because I'm in a drought, in a desperate need of hope to quench this thirst for justice that seems to never end. Or did it ever really exist for us in the first place? I don't have the answer. All I have is my art, my dreams. And this is Dejah Vu. Thank you.
It's said and done, moot point, no scale to weigh. How said all our fantasy and right my wrongs, shown off, I've wiped my hands. What it is what it is, is what it is, is what it is, it is what it is, is what it is, it is what it won my war, not going back for more. Apologize if I'm not shut on my bed. It's about me now on, from fire phoenix on. Pretty roses, they have sharp thorns. All over pages, going on through life stages, cages. It is what it is. It is what it is. It's what it is. Is what it is. What it is. It is what it is. Is what it is. It is
Thanks to each and every one of our viewers for being a part of Pittsburgh Fashion Week 2020. I'm Gina Vensel with Easy Street Promotions, and I want to thank John Valentine from the Downtown CDC, as well as his entire committee, for putting on an amazing 2020 performance. So thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. And, you know, come back next year. I hope you enjoyed the show this year. And we look forward to even being better next year. Every year we try to make it better and a little better. But I would like to thank some people and some companies, and I wrote them down because I have a bad habit of always forgetting somebody.
That's okay, that's good.
So I wrote these down, and I probably forgot somebody when I wrote it down. But let's start with you, Gina. Gina and Easy Street Promotions, I can't ask for more. Your professionalism, your enthusiasm, it just came through on the camera. And it was a joy.
I appreciate that. It's been a pleasure to be a part of this experience.
And if I can just plug Easy Street for a second, for the other organizations that are out there, if you need an event planner, there's no one better. Please put Easy Street Promotions on your short list. In fact, just make it a list of one, and at least let her come in and make some kind of presentation. You will not be sorry. So thank you.
I appreciate that. As most of the events have been flipped upside down, you really came and said, no, we're not going to give up on Pittsburgh Fashion Week. You were really early on said, let's make a move and turn this into a digital event. Your team quickly worked collaboratively with so many other cities, which was, again, not only we're in this unprecedented time, but you really dove in. So your entire team just did such an excellent job. And I know that there was a lot of people behind the scenes that had to make this happen too. So who are some of those people that we should thank?
Boy, once again, there's a 15-member core committee, and I know if I start naming names, I'm going to forget people. So I'll say go to the website, look up our core committee, and it was just a fantastic team. It was so enjoyable, and the love came through. We all truly like each other, and that makes work so much easier. It's fun. So it was enjoyable.
It was definitely something for me to look forward to when so much other things in the world have not been so bright, to be able to look forward to participating and doing the interviews for the Artist Alley and being able to be here with you for hosting these events has just been so special. And I know that the mayor was involved, and we want to thank him from just all of the work that he's done to be able to help, the fashion community at large.
I think everybody in the city owes Mayor Peduto thanks. I mean, he's done a lot. He's moved this city forward. It's a great team that he's put together, and the leadership. So yes, I can't thank the mayor enough. He's been a good friend. And we haven't mentioned County Executive Rich Fitzgerald, but he's been great also. So we thank Rich, and they work together so well, and that's part of why Pittsburgh's progressing. So there's a couple other people that I'm going to once again go to my notes here. My staff, Emily Stipe, Sean Armstrong, but I hate to choose one over any of the others, but Christina Pacifico is the best of the best. I mean, I can sit here and take up a whole night praising Christina, and it still wouldn't be giving her justice because she's that good. This show doesn't exist without her.
Well, it's a small but mighty team, and they wear many hats, right? And,
oh my God!
That's
you have no idea how many hats. Misra Records, Jeff Benton, and you introduced me to Jeff.
Yeah.
So Jeff stepped up. I think we have 7 or 8 of his signed artists that performed in Fashion Week, and of course, the Center for Media Innovation.
It's just such a beautiful facility.
Andy Conti has been great to work with, and I'm going to forget all the other names, but obviously Nick, Tyler, Olivia, and I hope I'm not forgetting anybody, but I know I am. But what a great team. They're great to work with. It's been a joy. And then Pioneer Records, Ed Traversari. Ed and Point Park University as a whole. It's just an enjoyable work relationship. I couldn't ask for more in a partner. So
well, that's really what you're doing, though, John. This is partnerships that you're developing. You really, you create relationships that are long-lasting, and that's what this Pittsburgh Fashion Week has really developed into being. So I am looking forward to seeing what will happen next year. Hopefully, we won't have to sit so many pillows away from one another, and we'll be doing runway shows and all that.
Hopefully.
However, I do think that there's just been so much talent that's come out of all of this, and inspiration of all of the films that we've seen and the dance performances, that maybe it could be a hybrid, part virtual,
I
part
agree.
in person.
I think that's what we will do moving forward. We're going to have to plan somewhat on a parallel course because we don't know what it's going to look like.
Right.
But even if we do get back to some type of normalcy, we'll implement and keep a lot of these programs that we started now. Before I forget, I also want to thank Colliers International for their financial support. Can't tell you how much that meant to us, and Councilman Daniel Lavelle for his financial support. Councilman Lavelle came through for us. So I want to thank everybody involved. And I hope that you all enjoyed the show.
And thanks to each and every one of you for tuning in for Pittsburgh Fashion Week 2020. As you can see, it takes a lot of people behind the scenes to make something like this happen, but it takes each and every one of you for caring about fashion and collaborating with one another to really make a change here, not only in Pittsburgh, but to help make Pittsburgh have a name nationwide. So thanks again to the Downtown CDC, to the Center for Media Innovation at Point Park, and to each of you. Keep connected to everything Pittsburgh Fashion Week at PGHFW.com.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.